Hey guys, it's Karen Taradas with Social U. It's time for What's Up Wednesday, where we come to you live every Wednesday with tips, tricks, and trends for social media and digital marketing and small business owners. And this month, we're going to cover the basics for social media, all of the basics. Today, we're going to talk about which platform, how do you decide which platform to be on? There are so many. Today, we're going to talk about, I think, 6 of them. It's a lot. Normal business owners do not have the bandwidth to be on 6 different platforms at the same time. It's overwhelming. So you have to really decide where you want to spend your time, where you're going to get your biggest bang for your buck. And today we're going to talk about that. And then the rest of this month, we're going to talk about best times to post, what you need to post, where to find good content. We're going to cover the questions, how, what, when, why, where. But today we are going to talk about how to know which platform is the best fit for you and your business. So lots of stats. So you're just going to have to bear with me. Okay. First and foremost is Facebook. It's still the big boy. It still has the most users. 7 in 10 US adults are on Facebook. Apparently all of the adults that I know that are over the age of 60 are on Facebook, because users over 65 years, it's the fastest growing demographic. It is still the fastest growing demographic because there's so many boomers out there, and millennials don't love it as much as the boomers love it. So it's still the largest growing. Although 51% of American teenagers between 13 and 17 use it. I think that that's because their parents say, you get on Facebook so your grandmother can see your pictures. That's what I think. 74% of high income earners are on Facebook. Over 1.5 billion users every day. Seriously, it's huge. It's hard to ignore. 88% of the users are on the platform to stay in contact with friends and family. I totally believe that. Highest traffic days are Wednesday and Thursday. Stories has 3 million active viewers daily. That stat's okay. 53% of adults don't understand how their newsfeed displays posts. Yeah, we'll cover that in a minute. 94% of Facebook ad is from revenues from mobile. So if your ads are not set up to be optimized for mobile use, seriously missing the boat. 85% of Facebook viewers watch video without the sound on. What does that mean? It means captions. Turn on your captions or they're missing the point. And they're 4 times more likely to watch a live video than they are to watch a recorded video. Okay, so let's do a summation. In summation, you have to be on Facebook. Just about any business in the whole wide world, regardless of what it is and who you sell to, you have to have a presence on Facebook simply because it carries the biggest weight. The most people are on there. Google recognizes it as a resource, and it's where most people go to start their search when they are looking for information about your company. So when people say, oh, nobody uses Facebook anymore, they totally do. And even if you have a smaller presence with just a couple of posts a week, you still need it. So if you're a business owner, buckle up and get on Facebook. Okay, number 2 is Instagram. Owned by Facebook. Oh, still over 1 billion active users. Compared to Facebook, it's a much younger audience. More than half of that population is under 34 years old. Not me. It's the second most preferred app for teens. The largest group on there is male between 18 and 24. It's got a very YouTube vibe to it. Younger guys kind of dominate video. 6 in 10 Instagram users log in at least 1 time a day. Of course, it's the second most used social media site, 53 minutes a day compared to Facebook's 58. So people are spending time on there. 90% of users do follow a business account. And the people surveyed, I thought this was super interesting. The people surveyed that are actually on Instagram say 83% of the people who were surveyed say they use it to discover new products or services. 81% uses it to research new products or services, and 80% use it to decide whether to buy that new product or service. That's massive. Over 500 million accounts use stories every day. And after seeing a product or service described on Instagram, 79% of people search for more information, and 37% visit the retail store. And of that 37%, 50% of people will buy something. That's huge. So in summation, what is that? I just Leah, yeah, yay. In summation, what does it mean? It means if you have a younger audience who is more visual, you really need to be on Instagram. But it also means if you're going to be on Instagram, you need to make sure you allocate enough time, not only for posts, but for stories and reels as well. Instagram recently announced that they are no longer a video sharing platform, a photo sharing platform. They are shifting to content influencers and video. They really are pushing video hard. So as a business owner, if you have not yet started Reels, I highly, highly recommend it. If your audience is under 35, I highly recommend it. So those folks who target a younger female audience, Instagram is a great place to be. Okay. Twitter. I don't love Twitter. Why do I not love Twitter? It's a massive time dedication. You have to tweet multiple times a day to even make a splash in the pond. And there's 330 million active users. Okay, seems like a lot, but it's not as many as a lot of the other platforms that are available to you that have a much more targeted audience and use of audience. And when you tweet, those tweets fly by. It's like standing next to the river and watching the water flow. So if you can throw the rock in the river, if you throw a big enough rock or you throw enough at the same time, there's a splash, and then the splash is over. That's what Twitter is. It's the river. 63% of the users, they tend to be an older audience. They tend to be more male. 2-to-1, they tend to be male. And then that audience is divided into 18 and 29, and then 35 to 55. So if you have a male dominated field, sports, definitely need to be on Twitter. And if you have an audience that's roughly male, so if you're trying to market your beard oil, Twitter is the place to be because it's mostly male. The average session is only 4 minutes, so you don't have a long time to make that splash. There's still 500 million tweets a day. It's a lot. Most Twitter users access it about 20% in the US will access once a month. Still, those stats are not great for you to dedicate your time. Only 40% of Twitter users will purchase after seeing something on Twitter. I will say 80% of Twitter users are affluent millennials. That means they have disposable income and they're ready to spend that money. And of course, Twitter members are open to communities. Wow, apparently I need more caffeine. 93% of Twitter community members are open to brands getting involved if they do it the right way. So it can't just be done. It has to be done well. So in summation, if you're marketing to your male audience, Twitter is a great place to be. But the caveat is you have to have time to actually dedicate to the platform, because you have to, seriously, the minimum is 3 tweets a day. That's massive. Ideally, it should be more like 10 tweets a day. And a lot of people just don't have the time to dedicate to that. Also, a lot of your college-educated males tend to be on there. It's a big split. You have your affluent college-educated males, and then your much younger teenage. So surfboards, skateboards, Twitter's a great place to be. Okay, Pinterest. Pinterest is a very overlooked platform. A lot of businesses just don't even bother with it. And of course, it's one of my favorites because of the activity. And let me tell you why. Last year, one of the good things out of COVID, Twitter's user base grew from 26% to 335 million last year. That's huge. 71% of Pinterest users are female. Pinterest reaches 83% of women between the ages of 25 and 54. So basically all of the women. It reaches all the women. And that same group of women, they make up 80% of the buying decisions in the US household. So if you're trying to sell something specifically to women, or if you're trying to sell something to a family, Pinterest is the place to be, because the women who make the purchasing decisions, that's where they are. They're on Pinterest. 85% of women use it to plan their life moments. What's a life moment? Buying a house, planning a wedding, going on a big trip, compared to only 44% who use Instagram or Facebook. 58% say it helps them with shopping and purchasing decisions. Seriously, 80% of women ages between 18 and 64 with children use Pinterest. Okay, how do you break that down? 8 out of 10 moms are pinners. So if you have a mom market, Pinterest is the place to be. Dads use it too. 40% of dads, 52% of millennials use it every month. It's like the second highest platform underneath Instagram for millennials. 89% of pinners use it for inspiration to their path to purchase. Yeah, if you're shopping for a house, you get on Pinterest. You're shopping for your wedding, you get on Pinterest. 77% of pinners say they use it to discover a new product or brand. And 98% report trying new things after seeing it on Pinterest. That's huge. 98%, almost every single person who sees something they think is cool will try it after they see it on Pinterest. 80% of that audience thinks that content from brands is useful. Even if it's an ad, they'll watch ads on Pinterest. Average time is like 14 minutes. Most of those users are on their smartphone, not on their laptop. So again, it needs to be smartphone friendly. And high income households with college education are twice as likely to use Pinterest as a low income household. Wow. So women who have money and kids are on Pinterest. So if that's your audience, that's where you need to be. They also consider shopping to be a priority. 50% of users use it almost exclusively is to consider shopping the priority. And pins that show a product or service are 70% more likely to drive sales. That's crazy to me. But I will tell you for a fact, when we got serious on Pinterest and started pinning our blog and pinning our Instagram on the regular, that's when we started to really see activity. And consistently, my own blog will rank at least 7 out of my top 10 pins every month because people will see the information and go to the website. So it's driving traffic for me personally, for our website personally. So it totally, totally works. I'm a big, big fan of Pinterest. I love it. LinkedIn comes next. 675 million, 675 million monthly viewers. It's pretty even between male and female. It's like 57 to 43% female, but it's pretty even. Just like Facebook, it's about half and half. Most people, like over half of Americans with a college education are on there. 49% of the Americans who are on there make more than $75,000 a year. LinkedIn has 15 times as many content impressions than they do job postings. That's a a common misconception. People think, I'm not looking for a job. I don't need to be on LinkedIn. You really do. You're 60% more likely to engage with a coworker. It's a great way to foster community in your company. And of course, with COVID, engagement has increased on all the platforms in the last year. Most companies, they get 30% of their activity or engagement comes from employees. So it's a great place for your employees to literally become your brand ambassadors and help you sell your product or service to other businesses and professional people. 4 out of 5 people on LinkedIn are drive business decisions. We're talking about your C-suite, your CEO, your VP. Those people are on Pinterest. And 94% of business-to-business marketers use it for content marketing. Here's a fun fact. I find this fascinating. Out of the 600, it's over 700 million now. I know for a fact. Only 3 million of those people actually post content once a week. That's mind-blowing. That's such a teeny tiny percentage of people who actually post content compared to the people who seek content. So what does that say to me? It says to me, if I'm going to be a business-to-business marketing person, I need to not only have my business on LinkedIn, I need to have a profile on LinkedIn, and I need to post on the regular because you're much more likely to be seen. If you're part of that little tiny 3 million out of the 700 million, people are more likely to see your content. It's huge. Those numbers are huge. So in conclusion, for LinkedIn, if it's business and you market to other businesses, you definitely need to be on LinkedIn. And something a lot of people don't know, Google favors LinkedIn. So if you have a customized URL for your profile and people go Google you or your company, LinkedIn will normally pop up before even your own website. So Google really digs LinkedIn. So if that's something you need to do to break into the first page of Google, it's a great way to kind of get around that. YouTube, in case you guys haven't heard me say this in the last little bit, video, baby, it's huge. Video is coming out on every single platform. Facebook is, Instagram, they're all pushing video hard. I mean, if you haven't been on Instagram in the last few minutes, Reels, they're pushing Reels very heavily. But YouTube is still the big boy. It's the second largest search engine, only second to Google. It's like the second largest platform, only to Facebook. 85% of internet users in the United States watch video every single month. 50% of consumers say they'd like to see more content from a business or brand. Marketers use it as a professional marketing tool. Consumers say that they have been, like 70% of consumers say they're influenced to make a decision based on video they've seen. Video marketers get 66% more qualified leads every year. That's huge. 93% of marketers say they've landed a new customer thanks to a video on social media. A lot of platforms, including your website, they can't actually house the video. You have to put it somewhere. Where do you put it? YouTube. The average user spends 88% more time on a website with video. 72% of people would rather learn about your product through video than read about it. That's huge. It's the second largest search engine. It receives more than 1.5 billion users a month. Holy crap. And it plays over 1 billion hours of video each day. That's massive. Viewers are 95% more likely to recall a call to action after seeing a video compared to only 10% reading it in text. Again, that is huge. Video is a great way to not only get the call to action, but to get the people to pay attention to what you're trying to sell or promote. 2 billion logged in monthly users, almost 80% of all adults in the US. Again, it's pretty evenly split. About 56% are male. It's the second most used social media platform. People watch over 1 billion hours of YouTube daily, every day. The average visitor checks out 9 pages every time they get on. Live streams have increased 45% and since last year, again, COVID. 50% of decision makers use YouTube to research purchases, and 70% of people will buy from a brand that they've seen on YouTube. Okay, what does that mean to you? It means in 2021, if you have not embraced video into your marketing plan, it is time. People spend time on YouTube to research, and you can break out on YouTube where you might not be able to break out on Facebook. What's the difference? YouTube feeds people similar content. So if someone gets on YouTube and they are looking for how to repair their air conditioner, they will feed them all the videos that are related to those keywords. So your video may very well come up. That's why keywords are so critical on YouTube. Facebook doesn't work that way. If you don't know the name of the company and you can't search it the right way or the way Facebook has it allocated, you can't find it. YouTube will feed you content it thinks you will like, which is a great way to get in front of new people who might be ready to engage your brand and buy from you. And you guys bear with me. I know it's a ton of stats, but this is really the best way to figure out kind of where you need to be. TikTok is the new, there's not a ton of stats on TikTok yet because it's pretty new. I can tell you it's got 80 million monthly active users. It's been downloaded over 2 billion times. It's got 689 million global users, 80 million monthlies in the United States. It's pretty even, 60% female, 40% male. It has a tendency to have a younger audience. And when I say younger, 60% are between the ages of 16 and 24, and 26% are between the ages of 25 and 44. That leaves this little bitty 30% for everybody under 16 and over 45. So, yeah, I'm part of the minority. I will tell you, for all the stats that are not available yet, they are coming. But I will tell you this, Ocean Spray, a brand that is over 80 years old, saw 15 billion impressions in a single month because of one viral video. There was a skateboarder on his way to work drinking cranberry juice out of the carton, and it had the Ocean Spray label on it. And he started a trend. The song playing in the background was Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. And that viral video, because people stitched it and duetted that video, 15 billion impressions for Ocean Spray. Fleetwood Mac Dreams broke streaming records for viral videos, streamed over 8 million times in a week. So does TikTok influence people? You bet it does. There are artists whose music is being downloaded because people heard it on TikTok. And I am the worst about seeing Amazon finds on TikTok and going immediately and take my money. I can't tell you how many things I've bought just because I saw it on TikTok. And they look so cool. And most of them are awesome. Seriously. So yes, there's not a ton of stats, but I would tell you, if you have the bandwidth and you're already generating video for Instagram Reels, you might want to consider TikTok because it is very similar. Hashtags are similar. The formatting is similar. The time, the length, the duration of the video, very similar. So take a look at it if that appeals to you. Okay, phew. That is a lot of stats, but you have to know, hey, Justina, how are you doing? You have to know where your audience is so you know where you need to spend your time. If you don't know where your audience is, you can waste a ton of time. So most businesses can handle between 2 and 3 platforms max. A lot of people, and I will tell you this, I say it all the time, you take on social media platforms like you take on kids. You start with one, and when you forget how hard that one was to deal with, then you have another one. So you start with Facebook, you get really good at that one, and then you add a second one. If you can only do one, that's great. Be really good at the one you can handle. Once you get past 2 or 3, it can be very overwhelming, and people do experience content burnout. It is a real thing. So that being said, you want to strategically pick the best platform for you where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. And I'm always happy to put in my 2 cents. So if that's something you're interested in, send me a direct message, comment on this video, and I will happily weigh in, because where you spend your time is huge, and it has a tremendous impact on your business overall. You know, I could be spending a ton of my time on LinkedIn, but if my audience isn't there, it's not going to do me any good. So make sure that you're going where the people are, as Ariel would say from The Little Mermaid. Okay, so next week we are going to talk about, I believe next week we're going to talk about when to post on each platform, the best days and times for your content to be seen by other people. All this month we're going to talk about the really and truly what you need to be doing, how you pick your best platform, where your audience hangs out, what you need to be posting, what time you need to be posting, how you need to be posting. We're going to do a bonus at the end of the month about tools and apps that will help you achieve these goals that we talked about this month. So that's it for me today. I know stats can be so boring. So you guys, thanks for hanging with me. If you have any questions, let me know. And until next week, I'm Karen Taradas, and I'm here to help. Thanks.